Hello, this is Radiance Thompson. So today we're going to be talking about how my Yorkshire pudding fiasco in London with vanilla ice cream, what does that have to do with your $1 million ideas? So we're going to get into it. You're going to hear the story and then you're going to hear an exercise about how you can start knowing the difference between when you are hesitating on an idea, if it's because you feel like you're not ready and genuinely need to do more research, or if there's something else underlying the reasons why you're not fully trusting yourself to act on that idea. So we're going to get into the story, we're going to get into the exercise, and then of course I'm going to show you how we can work together in a in a close container, in a more intimate way. So first, let's get into the story. So I was at a family gathering in London. There was Nigerian food, there was British food, it was a whole feast. And one of the featured dishes was Yorkshire pudding. And I'm a Yankee, okay? This is my first time in London, and nobody told me the Yorkshire pudding rules. So I looked at that Yorkshire pudding and I thought that would be perfect with vanilla ice cream. So that's exactly what I did. I ate Yorkshire pudding with vanilla ice cream, and the entire room looked at me like I was lost, like there was something wrong with me, like I had lost my mind. So, I hear someone say, it goes with meat stew. What is she doing? Yeah, my British accent clearly isn't posh, and it's definitely not very British, but bear with me. So I ate my concoction anyway. And then one by one, more people started to try it. And then I heard someone else say, it's actually quite nice. And then in an instant, my just intuitively putting things together the way I thought it should go together allowed the room to turn from skepticism to solidarity. So, what's my point? You're already a woman who's proven you can build, execute, deliver results. And still, there are $1 million ideas you're sitting on, books left in the ethers instead of on the New York Times bestsellers list, ideas that came to you first that you're watching someone else make money off of. And this isn't happening to you because something's wrong with you. It's not because you're not ready. It's because you're gathering consensus, waiting for the room to agree with you before you act on your ideas. And your intuition is always leading you to the version of Yorkshire pudding with ice cream, an idea that feels unconventional, a decision that doesn't match what's expected of you, a nudge that arrives clear as day and you're about to act until you look up and you see everyone watching. Excuse me. And instead of putting the vanilla ice cream in the Yorkshire pudding and doing your thing, eating the way you want to eat at the table your intuition prepared you for, no matter who's sitting at that table with you. Because remember, your intuition is really God speaking and moving through you. You put the bowl down, you hesitate, you spiral about the idea instead of launching it, and you eat the way people tell you to eat, and you may not even enjoy it. So instead of waiting to get more research or more confirmation or more proof that people will receive your ideas well, you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to try it next time. Instead of doing that, because next time, when next time arrives, that same pattern will show up where you get tightness in your chest when you're about to be seen, or heaviness in your body that starts to build because your idea doesn't have a guaranteed approval rate yet, or inner noise that gets so loud that it drowns out the intuitive nudge that was very clear and gave you very clear directions. Here's the thing. The problem is that you don't trust yourself enough to act on your ideas without seeking permission first. And at your level of success and the next level that you want to go to, the hesitation between your intuition delivering you an idea and acting on it is expensive. It's costing you the launch, it's costing you the income, it's costing you the impact and the clients and the promotion and the legacy that idea was always meant to create. And it's not that you need to go down the rabbit hole of more research and you don't need another confirmation or another mastermind to validate that direction. You need to shift your frequency of your internal operating system running underneath so you can have more access to your intuition and trust yourself to act on your ideas instead of hesitating. That shift in your frequency happens when you get to the root of the beliefs that following your nudges on your ideas that your intuition delivers to you will disappoint someone or prove their doubts about you right. When you don't see immediate results, especially those thoughts and feelings will be, triggered even more so to even more magnitude and strengthening that feeling in your body. You're going to feel it that you'll be judged, or that it won't work, or that you're not carrying enough to carry it, or you don't have enough capacity, or you don't have the ability to carry the responsibility of what your idea requires of you. And I've been there, my clients have been there, and many of the people that I've had the pleasure of working with are brilliant, already successful people sitting on $1 million ideas, $1 million nudges, hand delivered to them by their intuition, and they wait for the room to agree with them, even at their level of success, before they move on their ideas. That's why when you work with me, I use something called my root cause clarity codex to clear the blocks distorting your frequency so you can have more access to your intuition, hear your intuition over your inner noise, hear your ideas more clearly, have more discernment about even who to tell about your ideas, or having more discernment about yourself and your own patterns so you can act on your ideas faster without shrinking to fit someone else's expectations first, or having an anxious attachment style to an identity that no longer serves where you're meant to go. So you can trust your full body yes without overthinking effing it up. So you can stop waiting for applause or others' approval before you trust yourself to take action. So when you get to the root of the beliefs, the not enoughness, the wondering if you can handle it, if you have the capacity to carry it all and still be present for your family, when those beliefs create energetic interference shift, you stop waiting for permission to follow through. Your ideas move from vision to action without the crash out in between. You launch before the window of opportunity closes. You build what came to you. And before someone else, again, makes money off an idea that came to you first. You stop letting public perception be louder than your own inner knowing. And the income, the impact, the clients you've been working toward start arriving in alignment with the ideas that your intuition has been sending you. So if you're someone that has an idea that you've been sitting on, a book, something that you know you've been wanting to do, and you just haven't done it, but it keeps on coming to you, you keep on seeing the vision of it, you keep on having that knock on your energetic door, like, hey, that idea still is there, the loop isn't closed. I want you to think of that idea that you've been sitting on, and I want you to ask yourself, am I waiting because this idea needs more time? Is this idea just needs to have more time to marinate? Or am I waiting for someone to approve of my idea first? Now you're going to have to be radically honest with yourself. And if the honest answer is you're seeking approval, what shoulds are you abiding by that no longer are no longer in alignment with the identity and narrative of who you're meant to be, the version of yourself that trusts themselves to act on that idea? What shoulds are no longer meant for you to carry? Now, this question I actually got from the book Not Nice by Dr. Aziz Gazapura. And then he goes in even more so deeper. He goes, okay, well, I want you to think of your shoulds, how you should sound, how you should show up, how you should look, how you should think, how you should be. Where do those shoulds that you've cultivated, where do they come from? Are they societal norms? Are they cultural norms? Are they your perception of how you want to be received? Have you put those expectations on yourself? And how are they either in alignment or no longer in alignment with the version of you that trusts themselves to act on your $1 million ideas? Because I want you to think about this. The shoulds that you're cultivating or have cultivated, they've all created your identity. And if they are no longer in alignment with the version of you that follows through on your ideas without hesitating, then you have to look at your attachment style with those shoulds and how comfortable, how safe you feel with no longer abiding by them. So, for example, are you securely attached with letting this part of you go? Do you feel safe with saying, you know what, this is no longer for me, this is no longer something that serves me, I'm going to let this part of how I operate no longer be. And then I'm going to replace it with a different form of being, of doing, of having. Now, if you don't feel securely attached, if you have like an anxious attachment style where you're holding on to this part of you for dear life, then you have to go a little bit deeper. And this is where we do in my one-on-one container, where we go deeper into your attachment style with certain parts of your identity and how there's misalignment with the identity that you have and the identity that is fully confident and trust themselves to follow through on their intuitive nudges. So again, this is how we can work together one-on-one in my one-on-one container, and the link will be in the comments or in my bio for you to apply to work with me one-on-one. Because I want you to remember this as well. Your intuitive ideas are ultimately ideas hand delivered to you by God, the God that lives inside of you, the God that lives inside all of us. And the idea wouldn't have come to you and wouldn't keep coming to you if it wasn't for a purpose you're meant to fulfill. You denying that idea is you denying the God inside of you. It's you denying the source that lives inside of you. It's you denying the universe that lives inside of you, which leads to disconnection, unfulfillment, which is definitely not what you desire. So instead of looking for another strategy, we can get to the root of the blocks, creating energetic interference in your body, in your frequency, preventing you from fully trusting your intuition to act on your ideas, creating that hesitation that's costing you time, money, impact. We work together, we shift your frequency, and that shift is available to you when you work with me one-on-one. So you can have more access to your intuition, hear your intuition more clearly, have more discernment on the direction that you need to go with your million-dollar ideas, with your intuition, and follow through with it without the dilly-dallying and going back and forth. So if you're ready to stop letting other people eat the meal at the table your intuition prepared for you to sit at and eat at, I want you to click the link in the comments to apply to work with me one-on-one. And remember, your intuition doesn't wait for applause before it sends you the idea. It will just keep sending it until you finally decide that your inner knowing is louder than others' opinion.